Bruce Robert Coffin worked for many years for the Portland Police Department. When he retired, he was a detective sergeant, and then he turned to something new, writing crime novels set in Maine. His latest is just out. It's called Crimson Thaw, and Bruce Robert Coffin is with us here on 207. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
You were pretty young, weren't you, when you realized you really wanted to become a writer?
I was 11 years old. I had just finished reading Salem's Lot by Stephen King, and I knew immediately what I wanted to do. It was that simple.
Have you ever met Stephen King?
Numerous times. Yeah.
Really?
I'm sure they were bigger deals for me than they were for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he remains an inspiration. The work he cranks out and the storytelling ability that he has is second to none.
The dream of becoming a writer got deferred for a while.
It did.
You went into law enforcement. How many years did you spend with Portland PD?
28.
Doing a lot of really gritty, nasty work.
Doing what they all do, yeah. And it was life-changing, and I had no idea that it would lead me back to my love of writing. But it really was I think it was the catalyst for me actually achieving my dream. All those experiences suddenly wanted to come out.
Well, it certainly gave you a wealth of material and a wealth of contacts, which you have continued to use. What's the basic story that you're telling in Crimson Thaw?
So Crimson Thaw is the introduction of Detective Brock Justice, who was a second-generation Maine State Trooper. And in the opening sequence, something bad happens that Brock gets involved in while he's part of the Major Crimes Unit South, the state police down here. And as a result of that, he's persona non grata. He has to testify against a fellow trooper and ends up in northern Maine, working out of the Bangor barracks. And he's working for a boss who doesn't want him, sort of a glory boy down here in southern Maine. And he also is informed that he's being paired up with a brand new detective who has zero homicide experience.
It sounds like you have all kinds of sources of conflict and tension here, which is, of
Yes.
course, what makes for good, compelling fiction.
Absolutely.
This represents a change, though, because in the past you've written books that have been based in Portland, which
Right.
you know so well. You decided that it was time for you to get outside and go to some new places in Maine to give you new storytelling possibilities, right?
That's exactly right. I realized early on that Paul Dworin had been smarter when he cast his Maine game warden, where he could go anywhere in the state of Maine, and I had pigeonholed myself, sort of a Cabot Cove syndrome, where all my homicides had to happen in Maine. And when this thing dropped in my lap, they wanted to know if I'd be interested in writing another procedural series. And I told my agent, the first thing I'm going to do is make this a Maine State Police detective so I can explore the state of Maine. And Brock Justice gives me the ability to do that.
Did you find that you had to do a little more homework than usual to make sure you got things right? Because you certainly know about state police, but not to the degree that you know about municipal police.
Yes, I've reached out to actually troopers and former troopers to get sort of the lay of the land, to find out the differences between there's little nuances between Portland and state police, and also the towns. I mean, I don't have to visit Portland to write about Portland, but I've had to visit. This first book takes place in Blue Hill, and I'd been there once before, so I went up and familiarized myself. The next one's Greenville, and so it really gives me a chance to explore my state with a different look at these towns.
You really love writing, don't you?
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine doing anything else. I'm lucky that I got another shot at this. I didn't anticipate waiting till 52 to be published, and yet I think from what I've learned from other writers, it helped my writing because it forced me to go out and have a life and experience things that I would never have known about as a young man.
What do other cops tell you about your books?
They love them. And I think that's always been my biggest apprehension, that my former coworkers or the people still doing the job would laugh at what I had done. And I get emails or phone calls from all over the world. I always find it fascinating that what we think of as unique in law enforcement here in Maine is very similar to things that happen in Australia. I get a lot of people saying, "My God, I was in a meeting just like that," or "I had a thing happen just like that." So it tells me that people are universal. I think stories reflect on what we are, but I think our similarities are far greater than our differences.
Again, the name of the new novel is Crimson Thaw by Bruce Robert Coffin. Good to have you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we've got more information about the book and the author. You'll find it in the 207 section of our new Center Maine app or website. Stick around. We'll return in a moment.